Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
I'm Karen,
I am Troy.
and Tony's over here,
He's over here.
and we're the Polnitz family,
Yes, that's
and
who we are.
that's who we are.
Yeah.
And we are part of the Facebook spiritual leadership team,
Yeah.
and we are here to share some spirit with you this
There's
fine
Tony.
afternoon. There's Tony.
Say
And
hi. Say hello.
So this afternoon, I usually do these in the morning, so I'm a little tripped up. Oh, and Angel is here too. She might make an appearance. So this afternoon, I wanted to talk a little bit about questions. And so we just celebrated Easter in such a wonderful way that I think Reverend Tim helped us to connect with this idea of love and in living in the example of Jesus, but in a way that was related to the here and now, and how if we follow in this example, then we can live in love and we can spread happiness. And I just, coming from a Christian background and so much Christian influence in the world, it's easy to kind of become tied up in like, do we believe in this or that? And so I actually came to Reverend Tim with some of these big feelings at one point, and just received such a wonderful message. I think it was also tied into his sermon the week that I went to talk to him, but talking about how sometimes the questions can be part of the answers themselves. And I just love that the Unitarian Universalist faith has room for our questions, and that there is room for our questions here. And so I wanted to share this reading. This is called Freedom to Doubt by Paul Stephen Dodenoff. The freedom to doubt, to question, to be content to live in mystery is central to the liberal religious tradition. Like the process of evolution itself, the path that we follow, our practice, is not easy or simple. It isn't without its dead ends or its disappointments. It doesn't guarantee that all of our conclusions will be final or that we will ever find an answer to all of our questions. But also, like the process of evolution, it is filled with great expressions of beauty and awe that are sometimes born of great struggle and at other times come as unexpected grace. So I love this idea of living in the mystery of this path that continues to evolve, there's no guarantees of we don't have this this is for sure what will happen when we die, but that it's okay for us to maybe have this expression of entering the mysteries of death. And so I was just reflecting on some of the questions that move me, because I think also I wanted to explore this idea of bringing a softness to my questions, and that I don't have to settle on an answer of exactly what I believe in order to have faith or have spirituality or whatever that might look like for us, that I can live into that mystery. And so some of the questions that I have thought about that move me are, how can I connect, or how can I grow closer to nature? How can I move more with the sway of the world and with the way that the world moves? How can I be more childlike, or be more, see things more through the eyes of a child? Another one is maybe just, how do I want to feel today? I don't know. There's a lot of different ones that I've kind of been working on, a lot tied to the idea that I keep coming back of working towards greater mindfulness. So I want to ask you, what are some of the questions? I'm putting Troy on the spot. I didn't really give him advanced thought into this, but what are some of the questions that move you?
Oh my gosh. Well, as you were talking, we're over here watching Anthony, making sure he doesn't, eat something wild. I think it sounds a little cliche, but how can I be, and it's very general, but how can I be my best self I think that encompasses a lot, because, we can talk about being our best self physically, mentally, emotionally. And it's always a journey, right? And when you were talking, I think part of it is really understanding that not everything needs to be explained or 100% logical. And I know that's very difficult for some people, because some people want that explanation. But I feel like instead enjoying that journey, enjoying that mystery, and enjoying the beauty of it, I think is a lot of times the most important. So, but anyway, that's kind of the side track. That's the side quest there. How can I be my best self? How can I be the most present? I think I've always wanted to work on mindfulness and really being kind of enveloped by the moment, instead of thinking about the ifs and the hypotheticals and everything that kind of surrounds us. So I think really remaining in the moment and really working on mindfulness, I think, is extremely important. And then, uh, I think for me, sometimes it's what can I do for someone today? And sometimes that someone is someone else, but sometimes that someone is yourself.
That's nice. I like that.
Treating yourself well, engaging in that self-care. But if you have the opportunity to positively affect someone today, how and when would you do that? So, yeah, those are probably some of the questions that I've asked myself, and um, plan on acting upon.
Hmm. I would love to hear from our church community or greater community who might be watching these videos, but what are the questions that move you? Um, and if you would share those in the comments, I would so appreciate that, getting to hear
Yes.
that from you. And then at the end, I wanted to just offer a little meditation, kind of returning back to the idea of softening around a question that you might have for yourself or for the world. And so it might be something really big, of like the ever present, what is the meaning of life? Or I'm actually going to take one of Troy's questions and see what how can I be my best self? And I think that's such a great example of a question that is an eternal mystery, right? How I can be my best self today is different from how I might be my best self tomorrow. And that's okay. And I will discover new ways of that. And so being able to soften around, and also that softening around it might mean like, okay, I don't have to have a list that I'm going to make of these are the check marks for me being my best self, but maybe just holding that question with softness will lead me on a path that might get me closer towards being my best self. So, Tony, are you ready to breathe with us? So, in this time, in this space, I invite you to imagine and hold your own question that moves you in your hands. And if you were to hold it in your hands, how does it feel? Is it light in your hands? Is it heavy? However it feels now, I invite you to create some space around it. Create some softness. And as your hands become softer around this question, see if the grasp that your mind might have on this question can become a little softer too. And then maybe that question becomes something that you can breathe into with gentleness, with curiosity, with a sense of fun, perhaps, a return to joy. And I invite you to let that question continue to move you. And if it moves you to share your question with us or how your question moves you, we would love to hear that. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye.
Bye.